So good morning everyone. Our topic for today is all about the 18 types of orchids. Orchids have been furnishing our lives beautifully with their eye-catching blooms and soothing fragrance for a very long time. And like many flowering plants, there are various types of orchids in our planet. Today we're bringing the 18 types of orchids with a bit of information about them. The first one is the Phalaenopsis Orchid. The Phalaenopsis Orchid are also known as moth orchids. They prefer diffuse lighting condition and are also easy to grow. Our next type of orchid is the Cattleya Orchids. Cattleya Orchids are mostly used in corsages around the world. They prefer to have direct sunlight in the morning and love cooler environment at night. The next type of orchid is the Brassavola Orchids. Native to South America, Central America, and West Indies, Brassavola Orchids are greenish and white flowers along the narrow petals. Weekly watering is advisable if grown in a pot. The next type of orchid is the Cymbidium Orchid. Cymbidium orchids are commonly known as both orchids. They can grow in drier and cooler conditions. They love to be exposed to medium and bright light. The next type of orchid is the Epidendrum Orchids. This is one of the most beautiful orchid species. Epidendrum orchids can grow from 6 inches to 6 feet, require very little bright light to bloom properly. The next type of orchid is the Dendrobium Orchids. Due to its appearance and medium watering needs, Dendrobium Orchids make perfect houseplant. This is also one of the easiest to grow orchid varieties. The next type of orchid is the Catasetum Orchids. One of the interesting facts about Catasetum Orchids is that they are bisexual, which are rare among varieties of orchids. Catasetum Orchids has waxy flowers which are highly attractive. The next type of orchid is the Cycnoches Orchid. Cycnoches Orchids are relatives of Cattleya Orchids. Fact about Cycnoches Orchid is that up to 30 flowers can grow on a single stem during its lifetime. The next type of orchid is the Cypripedium Orchids. Because of their large pouch-shaped flower petals, Cypripedium Orchids are also known as lady sleepers. They need a low watering during their flowering season. The next type of orchid is the Vanda Orchids. Native to Asian tropics, Vanda Orchids have pretty blooms. They do best if exposed to direct sunlight in the morning and shaded afterwards. The next type of orchids is the Cycnoches Orchids. With a height of 3 inches to 2 feet, depends on the species, Cycnoches Orchids can bloom for several months consecutively. The next type of orchid is the Intergeneric Orchids. This is one of the hybrid type of orchids as it is created by crossbreeding of orchids from different genera. The watering and lighting need depend on the parent orchid. The next type of orchid is the Paphiopedilum Orchids. Paphiopedilum orchids are also known as Venus sleepers due to their shape. It can easily grow on trees and on cliffs in the pocket of humus. The next type of orchid is the Ludisia Orchids. Among the many different types of orchids, Ludisia is the cutest one, and such is the beauty that it is also known as jewel orchid. The next type of orchids is the Lycaste Orchids. Some of the Lycaste orchid species emit a unique enticing scent. White, yellow, orange, green, red, and purple are the common colors of Lycaste. The next type of orchid is the Vuylstekeara Orchids. This type of orchid is not a natural one as it is created in a lab by Charles Vuylsteke. It is also a hybrid of other orchid plants. The next type of orchid is the Masdevallia Orchids. Masdevallia Orchid has an unconventional and unique flower shape. They love moisture, which should be as high as 70 to 100%. The next type of orchid is the Maxillaria Orchids. It contains 3 separate lobes and beautiful narrow leaves that perfectly complement the petals. Some of its species has showy types of orchid flowers. A bouquet of exotic orchids would be a perfect choice to surprise someone, and to make them smile. You can easily buy different types of orchids online. So that's all for now. This is our topic about the 18 types of orchids. If you want more videos like this, don't forget to click the subscribe button and the notification bell below this video so that you will be updated with our future uploads in this channel. So that's all for now, and as always, have a nice day everyone.